I don't want to say I got lucky in being able to shift after grad school to get into the game design industry. It was I had sold myself well. I had already been designing software for 10 years. I had done a lot of UX design. I had actually been a programmer. I wore many hats.
Hmm.
And I convinced a company when I was interviewing with them that despite not having a background in game design, they should consider me. And they're like, well, we don't know about that. So they gave me an interview. I'm like, hey guys, you're asking all these interview questions. I've got a portfolio of some games I had created and I showed it to them. I'm like, but tell you what, if you pose a question to me about come up with a game on the spot and then give me one night to work on it, I'll come up with a game design in 24 hours. And if you like it, hire me.
Right.
And that worked. So I came up with a full game design idea in 24 hours, and they're like, "Wow, okay, we'll work with you." That was a stunt that worked for me. But when I'm getting back to the design and tech and art are hard because you have a lot of people interested in it and very, very few positions.
Okay.
Like most of the companies I've worked at have had 100 people and one game designer.
Right.
Um, or on a lot of teams, every team needs one or multiple artists, but the industry doesn't want artists who don't have secondary skills, which is to say, if you're going to go into the art, you really need some UX chops skills. You're going to want technical skills like 3D design, 3D technical programming. If you can be an artist who can also program, that is a very sought after kind of extra specialty.
Right.
3D artists, animate special effects artists, ones who can program special effects, people who can program cinematography and animation. Those are the types of specialties that you might want to pursue to really get into the games industry and have some stability. If
Gotcha.
you're just doing graphic design, the pay is usually really low. The demand is high, and without having kind of an award-winning art style that is well known and independently revered, it's hard. It's really hard with just basic art skills. So when I said UX, I do want to expound on that in the sense of UX is now expanded to encompass graphic design, user interface design, some user interface programming, and user research.
Right.
Like IDEO's design thinking is
Mhm.
one of the methodologies that's often touted. Like that's a good thing to know.
Sure.
Post undergrad, the agile production methodology is another good one. And there's also all the supporting skills. The games industry is like a lot of professional ones. If you're in IT management, if you're small business management, the software industry style management skills, if you, most mobile games and esports games need massive databases and data management. Any skill related to that is huge.
Mhm.
They're going to need HR. They're going to need, training, skill development. They're going to need customer support. So there's a lot of ancillary skills that are, in some cases, good ways to get into the industry. And then from there, you can migrate to the creative art engineering side if that's where your passion is.
Actually, excellent, excellent. Wow,
Yeah.
that was a wealth of information for people to know.
And you can do it after grad school, but the earlier you get into it, the easier.
Got it.
If you've been in the industry, it's so much easier to get a job in the industry than if you've never been in it. And the older you are, it makes a difference. The industry is a little ageist.
Hmm.
Um, the recruiters I talk to say if you're not 20 or 30, you have to bring in a lot of industry specific experience to be considered.
Right.
Um,
Good to know.